Welcome inside the Burns Arena, home of the Dixie State Trailblazers. Rustin Burnside, Jacob Zimmerman, and you okay if I just call you Coach?
Yeah, that's fine. Ken Cundy.
Ken Cundy is joining us as well to provide some very valuable insight as we gear up for what should be another fantastic ball game here in the 4A Girls Basketball Championship. The boys all went earlier this morning as those brackets are all set. We'll give you updates on those. And just recently, Skyview took down Mountain Crest 52-39, and a Region 10 clash. The Desert Hills Lady Thunder took on the Hurricane Tigers and ended up as the same result as it did the two earlier times this season, 56-38 victory for Desert Hills, and which was actually a pretty tight game. And now before you is going to be the Ridgeline Lady Riverhawks taking on the Lady Flyers of Dixie High, the 1 versus the 9. And fellas, when you look at this game, it's easy to look at the 1 versus 9 and look at Ridgeline and say, I'm not sure if there's a better team out there right now. Only lost one time this season, and that was to a team not within Utah state border. I think it was to Sugar Hills or Sugar Salem, Idaho, or something like that. We'll have to check into it. But they haven't lost here in Utah. So when you look at this 1-9 matchup, do you have a lot of excitement? Is there still hope for Dixie to really try to get things done tonight?
Rustin, pleased to be with you back here in the Burns. Typically when I'm in the Burns, not for high school basketball, but this is going to be a fun one. The Riverhawks up from Cache Valley, a great team. The Riverhawks 22-1 on the year, 10-0 in region. Rustin, you mentioned that game, that only loss they had. It was against a team in Idaho, Sugar Salem, the Diggers.
That's what it was.
Where they lost 46-41. You're right, their only loss the entire year. The Riverhawks had an off night for sure, just 28% from the field. Skinner, the stud on this team, Emily just shot 5 of 17 from the field, and Livingston had 4 of 12 shooting. So this team can really shoot the rock. They can get after it defensively, but if they have a performance like they did against Sugar Salem, this might be a closer one than expected.
Yeah, for sure. And when you look at Ridgeline, I mean, most girls teams, you're looking at maybe 7 or 8 deep. They have 7 or 8 kids that have shot double digits from behind the arc this year. And so, you know, they're led by a freshman, sensational freshman, Skinner. She averages about 18 points a game. And when you can get that kind of contribution from freshmen, you know you're doing some good things in the program.
Absolutely, that's a big deal. And you talk about the depth this team has. Just to give you an idea on that, the last matchup they had, the last game they played, they were on bye for the first round, being the number 1 seed. That's a given. But they played Bear River in a 68-35 victory on the road, and they had 1, 2, 3, 4, count them up, 10 different players scored the basketball. I get it. It was a blowout game, but it's still the perfect idea of how even this team is and how many different girls they can go to make something happen as we get ready for Ridgeline and Dixie. You're listening to the Interior Design Center pregame broadcast brought to you by our friends at Stephen Wade, where you got it made, as well as Ideal Paint, amongst many others. TDS, one of them as well. And guys, let's get into it. Let's talk about some of our keys to the game. Jake, I know you've prepped a couple of these as the clock shows officially 5 minutes to go till tip here. Let's start with Dixie, the number 9 seed. When you look at the Flyers, this is a team that honestly came off a pretty solid win over region rival Pineview on the road in round 1. 39-35 was the final there. That's how you see the Lady Flyers here tonight. What do you think it's going to take tonight for Dixie?
I think solid's a pretty good word to describe the season, Rustin. Tonight, for your Camping World keys of the game, perimeter defense. I hope the Flyers came ready to defend this 3-headed monster at the guard spot. Skinner, Livingston, Smith all average 10-plus points per game in region. They're going to have to be excellent defending the perimeter. Your next key to the game for the Flyers, Dixie commits nearly 20 turnovers a game. Anything other 15 in this game is probably going to put them out of reach. The Riverhawks turn defense to offense as good as anyone in the state of Utah. Over on the girls' side of things, you got to take care of the ball if you're Dixie. And then the final key to the game for the Flyers, it can't be an off-night shooting. I know it's so much just up to the players whether they have a hot night or not. That's truly the X factor here in Region 10 hoops. And for the playoffs, it's an even bigger factor. One and done, you can't have an off night.
Yeah, and the big key, I think, offensively for Dixie is to get that ball inside to their big, you know, if we call girls bigs. But their post player in there, Lala Fa'amuina, I think she averages close to 18 a game as well, and she's the one that makes their offense go. I know that Coach Barrett loves to get the ball inside to her for the inside-outside, you know, looks for their guards. And like you said, if their guards are hitting shots, And Lala down low is causing some havoc. I think they might be able to have a chance. And when you come in as a 9 seed, man, it's a seat at the table. Anything can happen, nerves, whatnot. You know, just give it your best and see what can happen.
And that's a good point, especially when you look at this Lady Flyers squad. Really, they don't have the same pressure that Ridgeline does. Ridgeline coming in with heavy shoulders, if you will. Maybe they don't feel that way. But when you play as well as you have for that long, you're bound to slip up at some point, right? Or at least that's what people think. The Lady Riverhawks trying to flip the script in that regard and get things taken care of. And then for Ridgeline, on the other side of it, I'll preface the keys to the game, Camping World keys to the game, by saying this, Jake. I know for a fact that there is not a better defense in all of Utah 4A girls than what Ridgeline does on a night-to-night basis. They give up 35 points a game is what you're looking at, and really, I mean, you can't ask for much more. They've played 23 games, 35 points a game against some pretty good competition. I'll just start by saying that defense is solid.
Russ, and I'm going to continue that with the defense. They average a staggering, unheard of, 14.6 steals per game in region play. So their key, actually, we know their defense is going to come. It's to not get in foul trouble, because then you take your best players off the court. You can't even have those aggressive defensive stands that you want to have. Still get after it, still get in the steals department, but just be a little wary. Okay, maybe your best players need to take a breath and just keep sliding the feet on defense. Your second key to the game for the Riverhawks, they actually average less rebounds per game than Dixie. Now, I know it's hard to get a rebound when all of your shots go in, but crashing the glass will be very key tonight against Fa'amuina. And the last key to the game for Ridgeline, double team her inside. Double team Lala every time she catches it on the block. You know, I think that's got to be the game plan. Force one of these other gals to beat you, make your teammates beat you. And you know, the last time they actually lost to Sugar Salem Diggers, it was Haley Harris who had 20 points, 10 rebounds on 80% field goal shooting. Maybe Dixie can replicate that performance tonight.
Yeah, and that's, like you guys were saying, that's one of their best chances. Get the ball inside and absolutely take care of the basketball.
That's going to be crucial, especially with the Ridgeline team. You said a 14.6 steals a game. Is that what you said?
14.6.
And how about this, too? 14 assists per game for Ridgeline. We talked about, Coach, you mentioned how versatile they are and who's out there. Skinner is the star, no doubt, but Livingston, Smith, Brown can all light it up on any given night, and those 14 assists per game, that's not all going to one player.
Yeah, for sure, and I don't know what the assist numbers are for Skinner, but she reminds me a lot of Snow Canyon's freshman point guard, Olivia Hamlin.
Yeah.
A lot of points there come from, you know, the pressure, the steals, they're just, you know, uncontested layups because of the good defensive effort. But Skinner absolutely probably is looking for and finding those other guards on the perimeter, especially when you got so many of them that can shoot the ball from behind the arc.
And we're wrapping up here with our Interior Design Center pregame show. Stephen Wade, InfoWest, Adams Wealth, Down East, Holbrook Asphalt, BitSense, Fry Team, name them all. Multiple guys helping us get on the air here tonight to bring you, I almost said Region 10 Athletics. This is not Region 10 exclusive. Thanks for locking us in and loading us up as we gear up for Ridgeline and Dixie. This game on KSL, ESPN, Sports Radio, 977.com, 4AState.com. There is no reason you should not be watching this game if you're excited for what's going on tonight as we get ready for our Sky Mountain Golf Course starting lineups between these two squads. And guys, there is really no common opponent between, well, there's common opponents, but these guys haven't really played each other in quite some time. In fact, as far as I can tell, they've never really met in history. Ridgeline's still a pretty relatively new school. Ridgeline did not face Dixie this year, but for comparison's sake, they beat Desert Hills 51-47, a team that we're familiar with in the Lady Thunder. Just watch them, and they took care of Pineview 53-29. So it shows you that Ridgeline, who took down number 2 Desert Hills, a very good basketball team, it shows you that they have to be respected.
Yeah, for sure, and that was a close game.
Yeah,
sounds like
very
you said
close
it was
game.
only a 3-point game, and so we just got done watching Desert Hills play, and their guards are very, very good. You know, so to keep it close against Ridgeline, that's the kind of effort that Dixie's going to have to give tonight, kind of like what we saw from those guards for the Desert Hills Thunder.
Absolutely. As we get ready for your starting lineups, Lady Flyers going first, wearing blue with the white trim. cursive lettering on the front of the jersey is actually a really good look. I'm a fan. Number 1 at the guard position is Hallie Smith. Number 2, Reese Lorenzen, as well as next to them, you cannot forget Lala Fa'amuina, who's out there as well. And number 23, Jade Bundy for Dixie. And I think the only one I missed was Ari Katardi, 21.
I think so.
And we'll make sure we have that correct as Ridgeline is introduced, starting with number 5 for the Riverhawks. That is Emily Skinner. Number 23 as well is Elise Livingston for Ridgeline. Number 25, Hallie Smith. And number 32 is going to be Brinley Wise. And who else did I miss here? There's one more name out there. I said Skinner, right?
You did.
Okay, I was going to say you can't miss Skinner out on the floor. You talked about it, Coach. Skinner averaging this year a incredibly high number, 18 points a game, 33% from beyond the arc, and from the free throw line. Here's my favorite statistic: 102 out of 126. That's an 81% clip from the charity stripe, and she gets there often. That's 5.5 times a game, roughly. I'm no mathematician. Is the jump between Smith and Macy Brown is up, and we're underway here at the Burns Arena. Rustin Burnside, Jacob Zimmerman, Coach Cundy bringing you the action. Ridgeline, Dixie, number 1 versus number 9. Dribbling up around the top, around the perimeter, trying to get that offense running. It was Hallie Smith. She'll kick it out to Skinner. Skinner off a screen. Between the leg dribble, and you can immediately tell just from watching off the bat, these guys can hoop. How about a steal? Dixie forcing a turnover on the inside. That was Fa'amuina, and now the Flyers control. Right-hand dribble into the front court. Fa'amuina inside. 3 is up and off the front of the rim from Smith. Offensive rebound. Missed on the putback by Lorenzen. Now pushing the pace the other way. Skinner trying to outrun everybody. Runs into Smith. Draws the foul. Hits the hardwood. Count it. Skinner off to a big start.
For a freshman, that's incredible body control right there on that breaking away layup.
Of course, the way she put her left shoulder right into the Flyer, went up strong, kind of cradled that ball or let it go right at the right time. Oh, textbook.
Yeah, beautiful.
Smith picks up her first personal of the night early on. Free throw. We talked about her free throw percentage. We jinxed it too early. Misses the and one opportunity, and now Smith will try to shake Skinner on the defensive side. Smith finally gets it across half court. Has to give it out to number 21, Katardi, who will give it back to Smith. Right-hand dribble. Ridgeline continues to switch players, currently playing man. Lorenzen drives baseline. Good look from corner 3. Solid shot, won't fall. That was off the hands of Jade Bundy. Riverhawks push the pace on the other end, slowing things up, kicking it back out. 3 from the right corner, won't go. That one actually, I don't even know if that hit rim.
Side of the backboard.
Side of the backboard, there we go. On that shot attempt, wearing number 25 for Ridgeline was Hallie Smith. Here's the other Smith for Dixie, trying to get it inside. Beautiful ball movement from the Flyers as they go inside. Finished by Reese Lorenzen for Dixie's first bucket of the game.
That's a really nice feed by Fa'amuina, getting involved offensively. Hasn't scored a basket yet, but she has a nice rebound and a good defensive stand so far in this game.
We're 2 minutes into this ball game between two squads that can put it up, specifically Ridgeline. Pass inside won't go. Skinner called for the ball back, won't get it. Back out is Smith, takes a dribble inside before kicking it back out top. Now Smith, bounce pass over to the right side. Is going to be corralled by her teammate. Skinner now has it up top. Ridgeline continues to move the basketball. Nice little hesitation, drive inside, and bucket for number 22. That is Macy Brown. Flyers trailing 4-2. To Fa'amuina. She's going to take left-hand dribble. Strong move inside. Sandwiched by 2 Riverhawks. And see if they called it on the shot. I believe they did. Free throws upcoming for Dixie Star.
Yeah, and on that play, Rustin, it looked like Elise Livingston, number 23 in on the defense, kind of looked to the sideline right after that play. Maybe disagreed with the call.
First free throw from Fa'amuina is no good. One more upcoming. And how do you keep a player like that off the free throw line. Just incredibly strong, able to get to the rim, agile enough to really stop you in your tracks. Gets the second to go. So first point for Fa'amawina tonight as Dixie makes it 4-3. Riverhawks on the attack. Nice little hesitation. Nice move inside. Good look. Won't go. Brown was the intended target. Skinner picks it up. Takes a dribble inside the perimeter. Pulls, hits, and is fouled.
Another opportunity for an and one right here for Skinner.
Woo!
Incredible. Even when the offensive possession there kind of fell apart, Skinner just takes it from the baseline, takes a dribble in, almost kind of recognized had a defender in front of her, behind her, in a sandwich, took the shot anyway, rose up high and drained it.
Could not capitalize on the first one and one. She gets this one to drop now, sitting at 5 points on the ball game. Makes it a 7-3 lead. Fa'amawina will push the pace. Right hand to left hand. Spin move inside. Uses that shoulder to perfection. Can't get it to go. Gets her own offensive rebound. Dixie lives to fight another day. Here's Smith attacking off the top of the perimeter. Nothing there. Gives it out to Lorenzen, who will go baseline. Flyers trying to set something offensively. Lorenzen back out top to Smith. You have calling for up top Katardi. They won't get it to her in the high post. As working around the perimeter, trying to shake the defenders, Jade Bundy. Fa'amawina squares up, and a free throw jumper is down. How about a little bit of range?
Her production is going to be very important for the Flyers. Rustin, she had 21 of her team's 39 points in the opening round in the pit.
That's a good stat right there. Dixie beating Pineview to get to this point here at the Burns Arena. Ridgeline with a 7-5 lead, works it around. Just checking into the ball game a little bit ago for the Riverhawks. Or sorry, no, Brindley Wise was the one who got it in the right corner. They continue to work it around. Skinner now with it, bounce pass inside, left hand up, no good, offensive rebound. And a pump fake three off the hands of Macy Brown as she steps inside, won't fall off the back iron, and Smith controls it for the Flyers.
Good box out and rebound from the Flyers that time.
I was about to say that. Even your stud getting dirty inside, that's great leadership.
It really is. Lead by example. Fa'amawina fresh off a mid-range jumper. Can't get that to fall. Has to give it back to Smith. Smith works inside. Multiple white jerseys closed around her, and the ball rolls out of bounds. It'll stay with the Lady Flyers.
Dixie getting a little bit tight on their spacing right there. Not allowing a lot of driving lanes, even though Smith tried to take it right there. If they can keep spread out just a little bit more, open up some of those lanes, they might be able to get to the basket a little bit easier, give Fa'amawina some chances to work inside some more.
And Dixie on the attack. Lorenzen with a solid move. Left hand, just couldn't get it to fall. And now Skinner wants to push. Skinner the other direction. Pump fakes the pass. Goes up with it with the right hand. And the whole Dixie defense just got shook out of their socks, fellas.
Yeah, I don't know how many Flyers saw the Euro step coming in that possession. I don't know if they've seen that much in region play. It's the 4A state playoffs. Got to look out for everything.
And then on the flip side, Skinner going back to work, forcing a turnover, and now headed back to the stripe. So before Dixie could even recover, Skinner's back at the line.
Yeah, and up to that point right there, Dixie had done a really good job handling the press of Ridgeline, and first turnover, results in a opportunity for more free throws for Skinner.
And so far, when you look at the team fouls, Ridgeline with a big fat goose egg. Dixie with 3 early on, 3 minutes, 8 seconds here in the first quarter. Skinner has made all but one of her free throw attempts, gets another one to go. That now officially makes her 3 of 4 from the stripe. Flyers will get it in to the front court. Right hand dribble to left. Lorenzen trying to make something happen, goes high post to Grace Polson, who just checked in a little while ago. Trying to drive off the corner. Nothing there was Bundy. Bundy off a Fa'amawina screen. Tried to force it to the high post. Still, and going the other direction for the Riverhawks. Left hand lay-in. Up and good for Elise Livingston's first points of the ball game.
Boy, Rustin, you can sure tell they've had so many steals on the year. As soon as things get chippy, one of them just flies down the court and receives the pass.
Well, 14.6 steals a game is no easy task. And sometimes, though, when you're a little over-aggressive, it can result in a reach and foul, as we witnessed there. Foul will go to Mikhail Perry, her first.
And I know it's early, Rustin, but those team fouls could really add up. There's a reason I had those as the Camping World keys to the game. Get after it defensively, but keep in mind of those fouls.
Timeout on the floor. We'll go ahead and take it with them. 30-second break, and we'll be right back with more of the first quarter action.
Okay, you're all set.
Wow, that was easy.
Man, I'm having a hard time working. I know, this money is killing me. Money already? Man, what got into that guy?
Oh, he got high-speed internet from InfoWest.
Really?
He's making us look bad.
InfoWest, the internet people.
Back at the Burns Arena, home of the Dixie State Trailblazers, who, yeah, it's official. They are a Division I team, have been for a little bit now.
Oh, yeah.
We witnessed a great game just the other night, Saturday night against Utah Valley.
I mean, which game are you talking? There's been so many good ones the last couple of weeks.
There's been a lot here, and I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more. But right now, hosting Utah 4A boys and girls state finals, which has been incredibly fun. The atmosphere here is great. I feel like it's a really great setting. I've been to a couple different venues. Me, for myself, in high school, I got to play at the Sevier Valley Center, also great. But off the inbound for Dixie, there's another turnover. As I ramble on, the Riverhawks are headed the other direction. Shot is going to end up short. Battle for the loose ball ends up being a foul on the Lady Riverhawks.
And I know that didn't lead to a bucket, but wow, yet another possession, another steal on the inbound, and Dixie's going to turn it over. Oh, but they save it.
Famuina tried to save it. It won't be enough as Ridgeline takes possession. And you said 14.6 steals per game. That's just steals alone. Forced turnovers is another situation. And it seems like this is well, it doesn't seem like. We know this is a very capable defensive team.
Yeah, Jacob mentioned this early. Turnovers are going to be crucial for Dixie. That's 3 straight turnovers against the press. Got to do a better job taking care of the basketball to keep close here.
Back-to-back missed 3 balls, one off the hands of Livingston, the other off the hands of Wise, and Dixie catches a break there with the rebound. Now bringing it up is Jade Bundy. Bundy trying to work off a Lorenzen screen, nothing there, goes the other direction, thought about a triple, won't take it, and her pass to Famuina is well below her knees, making it tough for any player to kind of get that one.
Now, I am definitely not the head coach of this squad, Rustin, but I'd like to see
You sure, Jake?
Fa'amuina, yes, I'm sure. Fa'amuina maybe get down on the block for one of these possessions. They have the height advantage inside.
And her only points this game, other than the free throw, have come from working inside. Corner 3, up and look good. Went over the top of the rim. Offensive rebound for the Lady Riverhawks won't go up on the putback attempt, but the fight for the ball after the fact rolls out of bounds. It'll stay with Ridgeline. Good offensive rebound and good hustle down low inside for Hallie Smith. Also want to thank Beckstrom, Johnson Pediatrics, Whitwer Hospitality, and of course, Stephen Wade for helping us bring this stream on KSL Sports Radio 977.com. As Ridgeline gets inside, there is another bucket from Skinner.
You know, in practice, it's really hard to simulate the kind of looks you get in the games. It just seems like, I mean, every single play, Skinner has had practice with defenders all over her.
There's another turnover. Famuina tried to get it inside, but Ridgeline collapsed, made things tough, and the layup attempt no good. On the pursuit, Dixie catches a break there. They trail 15-5 with 1:06. And I think you bring up a good point there, Jake, and I'll ask you with this one, Coach. Specifically in practice, you always have that player you gear up for, and you take somebody from your practice squad and you say, okay, this is going to be him. Practice how you're going to close out on him. Practice how you're going to work against him in the post. And as much as you do that, regardless of who that player is, it's impossible to really kind of simulate what effect that'll have on the game. I'm sure Dixie had a fake Skinner not all week long until they knew who they were going to play. It's just tough to do, right?
It's absolutely hard to do, especially when you don't have somebody maybe that's that quick.
Yeah.
You know, and can handle that kind of pressure out on the floor. But boy, they like to get out and run. They're moving the ball, getting up and down the floor really well right now.
3 from the corner, won't fall. Battle for the loose ball, out of bounds. Good pursuit from Bridie Davey. The 3 was missed by Allie Williams.
Coach, something you said earlier is the floor spacing. You know, they have Fa'amuina inside. Maybe all the other 4 girls need to be on the perimeter. Well, Coach, if they know that they can't hit the shot, then they're going to sink in, right?
Yeah, for sure they will. And I would expect them to double, maybe even triple Faumuina if she was on the block. And Dixie's had 2 or 3 really good looks from the perimeter. Wide open shots just haven't fallen for him yet. Got to keep shooting them when they're open, though.
Similar to Hurricane's situation, the looks have been there when they haven't turned the ball over. Skinner had a wicked crossover, got to the hoop, but was unable to provide the harm as it was too strong. 6-5. Dixie looking for that last shot. Davey on the perimeter, tries to attack Skinner, gets inside, is blocked, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. 15-5, Ridgeline on top. We got the second coming up. We'll take a 45-second break and be back. It's the Riverhawks, up by 10.
Communities are built
one connection at a time.
Lives are changed
one moment at a time.
At TDS, we believe in the power of people.
We believe in the power of community.
We believe in the power of connection.
So far, over 1,000 employees
have given over 16,000 hours of time
to over 1,000 organizations.
And we're just getting started.
Because we believe
the power of doing good together
powers better tomorrows for us all.
Need an appliance or two? AWP's got you. Check out the remodeled expansive showroom, highlighting the Cafe series with colors like matte black, matte white, and modern glass. Make your kitchen stand out. Come see the local boys at AWP across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart.
Back for the second quarter, Rustin Burnside, Jacob Zimmerman, and Coach Cundy on the call. And so far, 10-point game early on. You mentioned it, Coach. Dixie's got good looks. They just haven't been able to capitalize. And when they haven't got a shot off, it's typically due to a turnover. That's the main concern. The looks have been great, but getting to those looks has been a struggle tonight for the Lady Flyers, courtesy of a fantastic defensive Ridgeline team.
Yeah, I think Dixie should be happy they're down only 10 right now. They can make a few buckets and eliminate some of those full court turnovers they've had. Pull a little bit closer here going into halftime.
Faumuina controls it up top, spins, drives inside, thought about mid-range, nice pass, wide open. Davey knocks down the mid-range jumper on the side. Good hit for the Flyers.
Rustin, that's exactly the shot they needed to be able to hit right there. A good mid-range look, nobody on him, decided to go clean for the net, not the glass. Good decision.
Couple new substitutions in the game for Ridgeline. Number 4, Sydney Zollinger, she is out there right now for Ridgeline. Number 22, Macy Brown, goes high post. They won't give her the ball, trying to shake things down. Nice crossover, getting into the paint, kicking out to Wise. Wise will swing back as the Riverhawks work it around, leads to an open 3. That won't fall. Rebound Dixie. Great look for the Riverhawks that wouldn't drop. That was Zollinger on the attempt.
Absolutely beautiful ball movement, Rustin. There wasn't within 10 feet of her on that shot.
And for Ridgeline, I know the shot didn't go. You'll take that shot 10 out of 10 times, I promise. Now Faumuina trying to drive inside. She's going to be bumped and fouled on the ground. Wise picking up what I believe is her first personal.
Coach Barrett having Faumuina do a lot of the dribbling up top, trying to set the table for the offense right now.
Yeah.
I think like Jake and you were saying, Burnsy, she needs to get inside, dish that up, maybe get a screen to get her into that block. See if she can draw some doubles inside.
And she did have a nice assist to Davey on that last jumper. So there are opportunities there, but I think you're right. I think she's at her best right here, going up strong. Doesn't get it to go amongst the trees. Double teamed on the offensive rebound. Turnover, and now the Riverhawks push. Slowing things up. Nice little
Good
move
defense
to freeze the defense. Dixie forces a kick out and a missed triple. You're absolutely right there, Coach. Solid defense by the Flyers. And it seemed like they were on their heels, but that's not the case. Another turnover as Davey loses it. Skinner now on the other end, puts it up on the left side, right hand, and Skinner now up to 13 points in the ballgame.
This has truly been the story for the Riverhawks all year long. As soon as they get at the cross half court, look out, someone might double.
Lorenzen gives it over to Faumuina, who kicks it back to Smith. Smith off of Faumuina's screen. Maybe took a little far out, nearly lost the handle, has to give it back up top. Faumuina trying to break down the defense against Wise. Gets inside, Wise falls down, Faumuina falls down, no call. And now Ridgeline pushing the pace. You said it, they like to run, and a great left-handed finish right there from number 23, Elise Livingston.
You know, that was a good move from Fa'amuina. I don't know if her team was expecting her to shoot that.
Yeah.
And when you shoot those unexpected shots and miss, they absolutely lead to free layups on the other side for a team like Ridgeline.
Smith's three is blocked on the perimeter by Skinner. Lorenzen gets inside, three up and good! Down the barrel, Team D auto three off the hands of Allie Williams for her first bucket.
First three-pointer tonight for Dixie.
Yeah.
That right side so far lethal from the Flyers. If they can set that up, that'd be awesome.
First triple for Dixie. First triple of the game, actually. Ridgeline has yet to hit from beyond the arc as well. And we now have a turnover. The Flyers finally forcing one for themselves after becoming victim to a good chunk of them early on here. 4 minutes, 45 seconds. Clock continues to tick. Clock this year brought to you by Nets on Fire. We got a steal. Ridgeline reading the passing lanes like a cornerback. Other direction, missing the right-hand layup was number 25, Hallie Smith. Great steal, just can't get the finish to go.
And that's exactly how fast they're getting steals. If there was a shot clock, it would be super early into the shot clock. You didn't even have time to get through the sponsors, Rustin.
No, I didn't. And Lorenzen on the other side, dribble with the left hand, tried to flip one out, miscommunication possibly between her and her teammates. It goes out of bounds and back to Ridgeline. And we don't have official statistics, but I'd say a rough estimate right now, Dixie's probably sitting right around 15 turnovers?
I think 5 or 6
okay.
is about where we're at.
I'll meet in the middle with you guys. Let's say 8 or 9.
We want to stay under 15 for the game.
Yes.
If we can, but yeah, I would say somewhere in the 5, 6, maybe 8 range right there.
Let's go with 8. I think 8, 7, right around there. I set the table high. That way we can't be wrong. Skinner inside, right hand. Nice move, won't finish, and we have a foul. Skinner fought for her own miss. They've got a little chippy inside. And for Skinner, I think that's first personal?
It is first personal, and Dixie and they're doing a great job keeping Ridgeline off the boards. Not a lot of second chance opportunities for Ridgeline right now, and that's keeping the game within reach for the Flyers.
It is only 19-10, 9-point game. Dixie's just got to get it done on the offensive end. Swinging it out, Williams driving left hand. Nearly lost it, able to get it back, and while trying to prevent Emily Skinner from grabbing onto that ball, shuffled her feet.
Yeah, not only are these guards from Ridgeline just quick with their hands, but they anticipate things really, really well.
It's been a situation where it's not a one-on-one situation, Jake, and someone comes up and steals the basketball. It's more so how quickly, like you said, Coach, Ridgeline just jumps into these passing lanes and closes things off.
Absolutely. The help defenders are ready, and Dixie maybe needs to kind of be on alert. They don't have Fa'amuina in the game. They have Polson in center instead.
Livingston, her second bucket of the second quarter, cuts inside, finishes with the right hand. That will advance things to double digits, 21-10, 3 minutes remaining. As Bundy tries to work things up top. Gives back to Smith. Smith looks at the high post for just a split second to Grace Polson. Finally gets it to Polson. Polson didn't do much with it, gives it back. Smith picks it up, back to Polson. Polson left-hand dribble, and you put the ball down low, it's gone. Ridgeline the other direction, Skinner. Woo! Nice finish on the other end, had the defender trailing, hung, hesitated, hit.
And there's that anticipation we talked about. Polson catches it at the high post, makes a turn, and the guard's right there to steal that ball away.
Got a kicked ball now as Bundy tried to get it to Grace Polson.
Elise Livingston has to have at least 4 steals on the night. And you know, Elise isn't even the lead stealer on this team. It's Hallie Smith, who in region play averaged 4.5 steals per game. She's not even had that many so far.
And now here's Skinner. Skinner got that basketball and blew past everybody with the ball, which I don't think you can really understate how impressive that is. And timeout, Dixie. It is ballooned to a 15-point lead, 25-10 with 2 minutes, 33 seconds remaining in the second. We'll take the timeout with them. 30-second break. We'll be back with the end of the second quarter. back for the end of the second quarter. Flyers trying to close the gap just a little bit. Right-hand dribble, ball went down low, nearly stolen, is stolen. Skinner never gave up on it, and now it's her versus Smith. The left hand up and in, and Skinner now with 8 points, 8 points in the second quarter, 19 in the ball game.
I was going to say, it had to have been more than 8, Russ. I feel like I have deja vu watching that same play. Skinner running down the floor, all these blue jerseys trailing her.
And the Lady Flyers, they're trying to get it to the high post. The issue is when it's got to the high post, they're putting the ball down low, and anytime that happens, it's an instant turnover. Speaking of those, here's another one getting on the floor. Hallie Smith, you said she was their leading steal person in region play, gets one for herself right there, and then it ends up into a jump ball, which will stay with the Lady Riverhawks.
Yeah, and ever since Fa'amuina has subbed out, it seems like Ridgeline has figured out that high post action that Dixie is running offensively. And the guards off of the little chin action and curl cuts they're making, they just duck right in and pick that ball away from the post.
Happened multiple times. Laser pass, Livingston to Skinner. Great off-ball movement. She doesn't just need the ball in her hand. She's able to score without it.
That's incredible experience there. I mean, Livingston and Skinner just locked eyes. Once they locked eyes, they immediately knew where the open spot was. That was the right block.
And Livingston now breaks up a pass intended to Williams. Underneath the hoop, it's going to go out of bounds. It'll stay with Dixie. A couple new substitutions on the floor as Fa'amuina checks back in. We're also going to see Aaron Crane out there for the Lady Flyers, wearing number 41. Fa'amuina on the inbound, inside, trying to go to work. A little above the post. Gives it back to Smith. Smith's drive and is blocked by Skinner. Knew exactly where that ball was going, and then Skinner tried to outlet. Didn't like what she saw and ended up dragging her pivot foot.
You know, you're seeing a really good basketball player right here in Skinner, and the amazing thing is she's only a freshman.
It's not even the talent that's blowing me away. It's the IQ. It's knowing where, exactly how Dixie High is going to shoot the shot before it even goes up.
Yeah, and it's impressive to see that kind of IQ from a freshman basketball player.
Skinner, fantastic all night long. Currently at 21 points in the ball game, and well, we haven't even hit halftime yet. Flyers still trying to close the gap. New into the ball game right now for them is Gledhill. Fa'amuina ends up with it down on the right block, hesitates for just a minute, catches the defender going backwards, and hits the little jumper over Dolly.
Right there, you can see the strength that Fa'amuina has inside, and that has just got to be something Dixie tries to do a little bit more often.
And Dell tried to force it inside, out of bounds. Is where the ball ends up. It'll remain with Ridgeline. Inbound, inside, up, hanging, Livingston with another bucket. We talk about Skinner, but Livingston deserves a ton of credit. Graduating class of 2024, 11.6 points per game, and currently right now 8 for the Riverhawks. Good movement on that inbound. Stopping, popping, pulling, and unable to hit was Bundy. Ball batted around over the hands of Fa'amuina, and it's going to be controlled by Dell inside. Right-hand dribble, Livingston behind the back will slow things up with 30 seconds remaining over on our Nets on Fire clock. Game brought to you by Ideal Paint, Stephen Wade Auto Center, where you've got it made. As the ball's batted around, as soon as they get that batted ball, they go back to a cutting Macy Brown, who is fouled, and it's even when the play looks like it's about to break down, Coach, it still works.
Yeah, they've got some great offensive movement going right now. They're actually making these cuts to that nail head free throw line and then making the back cut, and Dixie's just not able to hang with that back cut, and they've had 2 or 3 layups now in a row, or at least chances at the basket off of those back cut actions.
And the Riverhawks doing this all without sinking a single triple so far tonight. They've had good looks. First free throw from Brown is no good. She'll get one more attempt here. That one off the front iron. Flyers have a chance for a last shot, or maybe not. Ball fought for on the rebound, ends up in a jump, and if I remember correctly, that should go to the Flyers.
It will be. Alternate possession, giving it to the Flyers right here. They're going to have a chance to hit something here with the last 16 seconds to go in the half.
Smith will inbound. Riverhawks bringing a lot of pressure. Cutting down the floor, wide open for a sec, didn't feel comfortable with the pass. They don't go deep, try to go to the side. Bundy kind of fumbles it around, it's knocked away. And
The timing's just not quite there for the Flyers.
I think that's a very valid point. Just doesn't end up nobody is where they think they're going to be, if that makes sense right now for the Lady Flyers. They have the right idea. They want to they want to work the offense and execute it to perfection, obviously, especially here in the quarterfinals, but nothing is there when they think it's going to be there. For the Riverhawks, everything's there. Off the inbound, Dell back to the corner. Livingston pump fakes, drives inside, hesitation dribble, right hand, kicks to the corner. Clock down to 10, still have plenty of time. Thought about a three instead, gives it to Livingston. Wide open look, there it is. First three down the barrel for Livingston and for the Riverhawks.
Yeah, great ball movement there on that final possession. And first three of the half, first three of the game for the Riverhawks.
And we do have Jacob Zimmerman. If you're wondering where he went, well, he's down there on the floor trying to get a quick word with Coach Jenks, and let's go to Jake right now. Jake, we got you?
Coach, what was the secret to that dominant first half?
We talk about defense, and I think that's a key. When you get girls playing tough defense and getting steals and getting layups, you're trying to go at the bucket, so defense.
The first half, nearly perfect from your Riverhawks. How do you improve in the second half?
Well, I think we can improve a lot, actually. Our shooting's not quite there. The layups are falling, but our outside shots, we're struggling. That shot right there by Elise, I think, is our first outside shot to fall. Well, we told the girls, just settle in, just play ball, we'll just get after it.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck in the second half. That's Ainsley Jakes of the Ridgeline Riverhawks.
Great job, Jake. Great report. We talked about how that was their first three made, and you love that. You're up 34-12. He's like, how can you improve? And instead of giving a stereotypical, well, maybe our energy can be better, she actually had multiple reasons that she thought this Lady Riverhawks team could improve. Great interview there.
Yeah, very good job. You know what? And coaches are like that. They're going to catch all those little things that they know their teams can do better. And in a game like that first half right there, when you're pressing, forcing turnovers, the layups are going to be there, and you don't absolutely have to have that outside shooting. But if she wants to continue to get this team prepped for what they'll see, in the next round and the round after, if they get past the Flyers in this one, some of those outside things and those set plays are going to have to improve, like she was saying.
We'll talk about other adjustments and the like coming up in the InfoWest halftime show. We'll take a 2-minute break and be back with some breakdown there, go over the brackets and the like, get insight from Jacob Zimmerman and Coach Cundy on what is a 34-12 Ridgeline Lady Riverhawk lead over the Dixie Flyers. 2-minute break. We'll be right back. Wherever you're joining us, we appreciate you locking us in, loading us up here as we're in the quarterfinal action. Ridgeline up 34-12. And fellas, Rustin Burnside alongside Jacob Zimmerman, Coach Cundy, we're breaking everything down here. You look at the statistics here in the InfoWest halftime show. Also want to thank Adams Wealth, Snow Jensen, State Bank, Holbrook Asphalt, as well as Pizza Factory, all the guys who make it possible. And Stephen Wade, where you got it made, for bringing us on the air. You look at the stats here tonight, guys, and there's two things. You can look at the Flyers and say, oh man, they only have a couple girls on the stat sheet. Lorenzen has 2. Davey has 2 off the bench. All right, and then of course, Fa'amuina has 5, and Williams hasn't made 3. Okay, that's 4 Dixie Lady Flyers who have scored. And you're like, they just need more production. Well, here's the thing. Ridgeline, the team with the 34-12 lead, they've only had 3 players score. That is, Macy Brown has 2 points, Elisa Livingston has 11 points, and then Emily Skinner 21 points. So it's not really about getting more people involved. It's more so about making the offense work for you. And on the flip side of that, the defense has been everything for Ridgeline. Came in only giving up 35 points a game. Well on pace for that here tonight in the quarterfinals.
I mean, we didn't quite know what we were going to expect. Ridgeline, a team from up north, down here in St. George, not a lot of people have seen them. Emily Skinner has lived up to the hype. She's backing up all these statistics that she put on display up there in region play. She's getting everything she wants, other than a few fouls here and there. I don't think of a much way to play a more perfect first half. I mean, whether it be on ball, off ball defense, she's getting it going. As soon as she has it, she's flying past everyone in transition, and the girls around her know when to take off at the right time.
Yeah.
And the most crazy thing about the Ridgeline Riverhawks is that not every bucket, not every offensive possession even has to go through her. I mean, Smith, Livingston, these guys can create it as well.
Yeah, for sure. And of those other 13 points that Ridgeline has, I wouldn't be surprised if Skinner maybe assisted on 2 or 3 of those buckets.
Yeah.
So, almost 80% of the offensive production coming from her. And like you were saying, Jake, most of that's coming because of her pressure and her ability to, get those hands moving and work up in that front court and get those easy layups.
And you talked about 14 steals a game for the Lady Riverhawks. How about 14 assists a game for this Ridgeline squad? They're able to get it done on multiple levels in a handful of scenarios. And we've seen them off ball movement, getting inside, and then they finish the half strong with their first made triple. And, Coach Jenks talked about it with you, Jake. She's like, yeah, I think our shots aren't really falling yet. Give us a couple reasons where they could improve. And I'm anxious to see what adjustments they make with a 34-12 lead. But let's talk about the Dixie Lady Flyers. We already talked about Fa'amuina and how we felt that she could be more efficient down on the block. She's got 5 points on the night. They've tried to let the offense go through her, has an assist, a nice little pass that ended up in a Davey jumper. But when you go away from that one thing, what else do the Lady Flyers have to do to try to climb back in this ball game in the second half?
I mean, I think Dixie, from the very start, they're having trouble getting into even beginning their offensive set.
Yeah.
And while there are some, there are a lot of mistakes that they're making that's just come from the pressure of the Riverhawks, not a lot of those you can take away. That's just going to happen. But what you can take away is the self-inflicted wounds, as you time and time again told me throughout the season in Region 10 play, Rustin. You can't commit turnovers when there's no pressure at all. I mean, the one right here on the inbound, that one was pretty rough. Kind of any momentum. I think we had just finished saying, it's only a 9-point game. Boom, right after that, inbounds, uncontested, open layup for Skinner. Just cut back on the ones that you're doing to yourself.
Absolutely, great point. Coach, you've been in the locker room in these scenarios. What are you thinking?
If I'm Coach Barrett, I analyze that first half a little bit, and the way that Ridgeline is diving in on Fa'amuina or Polson or whoever's at that high post, spacing's got to be a little bit better. They got to find those kickouts. They've got to hit some shots. But even on those kickouts, maybe you get that post that's at the high spot, dive into the block and go outside back in and see if you can't get some of that, easy looks at the basket.
And I want to see someone handle the rock other than Lala.
Yeah.
Coming around, pick and roll, maybe with Fui setting the screen, someone flying down, putting the pressure on other than her. That way she doesn't have to waste all this energy. I don't know if she's the best dribbler on the team. She looks like it is, but it'd be nice if someone else could create those looks for her.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm telling you, getting her on the block, you saw it on the last basket she made. She's stronger than all the girls out there on the floor right now. So if they can go into her and use her strength, I don't think she picked up any fouls, maybe one in the first half. She's got some opportunities. Just go to the basket strong.
Absolutely. And worst case scenario, you give it to her on the block, you probably at least end up at the free throw line. worst case scenario type situation. And you're seeing why Ridgeline is #1 in the Utah 4A girls playoffs in the RPI, 22-1 on the year, 10-0 in their region play up there at Region 11 in Cache Valley. They've been dominating all year long, and so far in this game, dominating the first half. And it's Emily Skinner, 21 points, alongside Livingston with 11 herself to pace the way for the Riverhawks. And we've seen Dixie try to work Catardi around the top, right? We've seen Jade Bundy try to dribble it around the top. I think the best thing for this offense to really kind of add to what you guys are saying, and I doubt no one listens to my suggestion here because we're obviously up here calling this game instead of in the locker room, and plus, don't ever listen to me if I try to recommend some on the basketball floor. Go the opposite direction. But the reality of it is, I think Dixie's going to be at their best the less they have to dribble around the perimeter. Working right to left, trying to work these screens up top. I think with all the steals that the Riverhawks have had tonight, man, just make clean, crisp passes, work that ball around, get that defense moving side to side, and see what looks you can get.
Yeah, the turnover statistic has been the key difference, I believe, in that first half. We talked about it early. Thought Dixie needed to stay under 15 for the game, and they didn't even accomplish that in the first half.
Yeah.
I think the Riverhawks might be creating a new statistic here. A lot will be mentioned assist to turnover ratio. How about assist to steal ratio? It's basically 1-to-1, right?
Yep.
Here we go, third quarter action. Stream brought to you by Stephen Wade, Fry Team, Appliance Wholesalers Plus, Reach Higher, and Luke Udi and Associates. The Riverhawks on the attack. Skinner, open look, baseline jumper. And for some players, you're like, ooh, will it go in, will it won't? For Skinner, that's automatic.
Good offensive set coming out of the locker room.
And Dixie already kind of struggling to hang on to the basketball. Starting this half for the Lady Flyers and getting on the attack is number 41, missing the right hand off an aggressive drive, Aaron Crane. I know it didn't go, but you kind of like it. Ridgeline the other direction. Nice little find outside. Livingston can't get the jumper to go. It's well over the rim. And the Lady Flyers really going with a whole new look here on the floor. We got Fatmuina out there still. Smith is still out there, but you're going to see Avery Gledhill out on the floor alongside Bundy. So Gledhill and Crane getting the second half start. What do you think the Lady Flyers are trying to accomplish here?
I think that tells me that they're trying to go inside. I mean, you put the strength in there, the muscle in there. Why not? You know, the height advantage might be kind of same, nick and tuck, but you definitely have the girth advantage.
And here is Fatmuina attempting inside the paint. Didn't go, and the first two Lady Flyers shots haven't fallen, but I think you're okay with the looks, right?
Yeah, I think they are good looks. Fatmuina could be a little bit more aggressive, maybe backing down the defender in that post, get a little bit closer. Yeah. But love that they put her down on the block, and there's that strength right there you're seeing.
As she tried to work on Wise, ball ends up rolling around in the hands of the Riverhawks. Now pushing the pace inside, left hand lay-in, too strong. It bounces off the back iron. And while there's a fight for the basketball, ending up on top of it was number 23, Jade Bundy. She was also on that baseline, which makes it out of bounds, Riverhawk basketball.
And you can see on that last offensive possession for Dixie, the ball goes into Fatmuina, and it wasn't just 2, but 3 Riverhawks defending in there on her to try to stop her. So those kickouts are going to be open if her perimeter players can keep some good spacing and she can get it kicked out to them, find some opportunities for some 3 balls.
Working the ball around the perimeter, and another 3 off the hands of Brynlee Wise, her first of the ball game. And that's the first shot we've seen her take all game, and she knocks it down from downtown.
I think what Coach was just explaining for the Flyers to do, I think the Riverhawks just did it right after.
Yeah, I'd say you're absolutely right. Crane calls the play, tries to give it to Fatmuina. Bounce pass is a little out of hand, able to control it, but she is in a tough spot, trying to spin baseline, bumped and fouled. I think Brynlee Wise is going to pick up what I believe to be her second.
And it's tough for Lala here. She's trying to put the post moves on. I think those post moves can work. She just needs to be maybe about 5 feet closer when she receives that pass.
Yeah, for sure.
Livingston will guard the inbound. Smith trying to find inside, gets it to Bundy. Bundy on the block, decides to spin back out. Now gives it to Fatmuina on the block. Right hand shot, up and down. Ridgeline didn't have enough time to collapse, and it worked out in the favor.
And that's what you were just talking about right there, Jake. Get a little bit closer, make a nice little post move, little right-handed floater right in.
And she drew 4 Riverhawks on that shot attempt as well.
Big situation as working inside. Livingston tried to hop and pass it out. Officials say, nah, that's a travel. So Dixie, an opportunity to possibly build a little, and I mean a little, momentum here off that Famuina basket. I can't think of any other time where they scored and then forced a turnover and went back down and scored. It has not happened a lot. This would be big for the Flyers to give the team a little bit of confidence. Crane loses the basketball, has to fight for it, ends up on the deck. Picked up back the other direction. Skinner inside, laid up and in off the hands of Hallie Smith.
Nice bounce pass in the hands, man. The activity from the Ridgeline defense.
3-on-2, 2-on-1. You might as well start putting up the scores on the scoreboard before that one's even in.
Yeah.
They have numbers, it's over.
That leads us to a timeout. 41-14 is the score. It's been all Ridgeline, especially here in the third quarter. We'll take the timeout with them. 30-second break. We'll be back. Riverhawks on top.
ESPN 97.7 is proud to be your exclusive broadcast partner for Vegas Golden Knights hockey in Southern Utah. Listen to the Golden Knights on ESPN 97.7 all season long as they battle to get back to the Stanley Cup Finals. ESPN 97.7, your home for Vegas Golden Knights hockey. Go Knights, go!
If you thought the Ridgeline and Desert Hills were on a crash course to the championship game, well, you might have a good point. The Lady Thunder take care of Hurricane in dominant fashion, and right now, Ridgeline is giving Dixie short work. Flyers down 41-14. Rustin Burnside, Coach Cundy, Jacob Zimmerman up here in the booth, watching all the action, trying to give it to you on KSL. And SportsRadio977.com. Speaking of action, there's another still. Skinner, right-hand bounce pass, beautiful fine contact. Nearly got it to go on the lefty lay-in, and the way that Skinner sees the floor is seriously unparalleled at the Utah 4A level.
Yeah, it is for sure. And watching that from a coaching perspective right now, I know that Dixie's trying the best that they can, but you can absolutely tell a difference between the style of passing Dixie is trying to make compared to the passes that Ridgeline are making.
Yeah.
Dixie a little bit casual, a little bit soft with their passes. And like you said, Skinner, it's a hard bounce pass. It's a no look to the backside. Fundamentally, they just look superior right now.
And Macy Brown is the recipient of those two free throws. Count them as good. She's now up to 4 points in the ball game.
And as I say, fundamentally superior. Coach Barrett, I know Bree quite well. She's worked with a lot of kids from Snow Canyon, boys and girls alike. She knows the game of basketball well. I believe this is her first year coaching at Dixie, and second year coaching at Dixie, and I guarantee you that she'll have those kids fundamentally ready as she gets more time with them in the offseason.
Absolutely, and right here you see Famuina doing what you guys have talked about all night long. Gets the ball up top, strong drive, lowers the shoulder, and ends up at the Fabulous Freddy's free throw line, knocking down the first.
Yeah, nice draw from Lala. Impressive for her to be able to go to the offhand, drive with the left, and still go up just as strong.
She leads all Dixie scorers tonight with 8. Misses the second, too strong. And Ridgeline, as they've done all night, they want to run. Skinner working against Crane. Put Crane in a bit of a spin cycle for just a moment. Goes back out. Macy Brown, a little hesitation, faked one direction like she was going to pass to the perimeter. Instead went up with the left hand, draws the foul, count the basket.
I mean, that's impressive for a sophomore. Look up at this roster. You know, what we really haven't touched on tonight, what might be the most impressive thing of the Ridgeline Riverhawks. Rustin, when I did those Star Watch candidates, I had 3 of them written down. A freshman, a sophomore, and a sophomore on a team that's 22-1, 10-0 in their region. Doing this right now, are you kidding me?
I'm looking down the entire roster as Famuina gets inside. Baseline jumper from Bundy won't fall. Pursuit for the offensive rebound is controlled by Zollinger.
See, and right there, to me, that is the exact right play that Faumuina needs to make. She does a great job making a move to the basket, gets the double team, and kicks it out to a wide-open teammate. They just have to be able to knock those shots down.
Had a pass like that Davey was able to hit in the first. Same similar situation, just Bundy wasn't able to get it to drop. And you guys, Jake, to touch on your point, looking down the whole roster right now, not a single graduate of 2022.
Wow.
Not one. Very young team. Ridgeline is going to be a force for say years to come. And at the high school level, that has to be severely appreciated. Dell works inside, kicks back out. Ball ends up in the right corner. Livingston hesitates, dribbles left hand, gets back up top, takes one hop step inside, ends up giving it back to Dell, who will swing it into the ball game right now for Ridgeline is number 15, Brooke Barrett. Ball whips around, Livingston for three. That one takes a hard bounce and rolls into the hands of Gledhill. Bundy, right hand dribble up by that Trailblazer mascot right at midcourt. Famuina ends up with the ball. Moves around on that pivot foot, pulls up for a jumper. Decent look, won't fall. And Dell with a big rebound. Beating everyone down the floor is Wise, laying it up again. I don't think anybody on Dixie's team even knew she was down
And you
there.
know, for Brynlee Wise, it was really wise for her to run the floor. I think she's learned to do that all year long.
I'd say you're right. Looks like something that's happened a couple times. 47-15 is your ball game at the moment. Famuina trying to do everything she can to keep Dixie with a little bit of breath, and that was a great post move using that right hand.
Yeah, and you talk about underclassmen. Famuina, only a sophomore.
Wow. We are going to be in for a lot of great basketball players at the Utah 4A girls level for quite some time, as Livingston has to pick it up. Good defense from Lorenzen, swings it out, driving inside, kicking corner, blocked. At least I think it was blocked.
It looked like it was. Lala made good recovery right there to get her hand on that shot.
Adele thought she had a little bit of room, and Famuina cleaned it up real quickly. Bundy trying to work off a Gledhill screen, ended up going to the left instead of the right. Now Famuina inside, powers her way to the rim and draws contact. Didn't get it to go, but she's coming alive here.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from Dixie the past couple of possessions. I mean, you get a block and you turn it into free throws on the other end. We haven't seen that from the Flyers tonight for that kind of sequence.
Free throws tonight for Famuina. She's normally split the pair when she's been at the line, and takes a couple dribbles, steps back into it, and first one in and out.
You think she got a little confused on her rhythm there?
Maybe, or maybe that's routine. I'll have to pay attention closely here. Substitutions made. Bundy will check out in favor of number 21, Ari Katardi.
Game like this, good for Ridgeline. 3 in a row, always hard, especially for a team that likes to press and run. Opportunity to give some of their starters a little bit of a breather here. With a big lead like this, allow them to rest for the next couple of games they got coming up.
I mean, with 2 minutes remaining in the third, your chances of losing this game are minute. So this is where you work on those offensive things, get some of those bench gals an opportunity to play big minutes, see if there's anybody who, wow, big, strong finish inside, and unfortunately they called that one on the floor. I was ready for an and one opportunity.
Yeah, for a post player, Famuina has some pretty good first steps off of the bounce there off the wing.
Yeah, beat a couple of defenders, whether it's been Dale or Wise who's been matched up against her. The foot speed is really impressive. Inbound play, decent look here, and one of the better looks off an inbound they've had all night. Davey tried to bank it in. It takes a hard bounce, but Dixie with the offensive rebound. Smith driving, picks it up left hand, blocked. Sent it right into the hands of Wise. Tried to save it, ball fought for. Davey on the deck, Wise on the deck. Ends up in the hands of Ridgeline. 3-on-1 is the opportunity for the Riverhawks. Pass inside and finish for her first points of the game. It's number 15, Brooke Barrett, running the floor with the rest of them.
I want to take this chance to highlight that last defensive stand by Davey. Got the rebound on her own missed shot and got nasty down and tried to steal it away.
Barrett, her first bucket, as Zollinger swings it. Dale sets her feet for three, and that one doesn't touch the rim. Saved by Wise, will end up out of bounds, going back to the Lady Flyers. Substitutions being made into the game right now for Ridgeline, to a solid ovation from the Riverhawk crowd. It is number 13, I think that is. Yep, 13 on the floor for the first time. Susanna Holmes. Lorenzen tries to work off a screen. Ends up picking it up on the right side. Swings it back out. One dribble pass into the corner. Davey now controls it with the right hand. Tries to survey the defense, seeing if there's anything there. And I see Holmes in the game trying to work that high post. Finally gets it. Doesn't drop it low, keeps it high. Able to get it out to Davey, who goes back to the high post. Polson trying to find something there. Thought about going right, ended up going left. Ball ends up on the deck, and a jump ball situation as Ari Katardi ended up diving on it, and a couple Riverhawks got into the fray.
You know, it looks to me like Dixie's trying to get that ball into that post and get some backdoor cuts off the backside.
Yeah.
But the Riverhawks are doing a great job reading that, keeping their head on a swivel, defending those cuts quite well.
Lorenzen bounce pass corner. Smith on the drive over to Polson, who steps back, takes a dribble, and ends up giving it back to Lorenzen. Fakes to the right, ends up going to the left. Gives out to Smith, left-hand three, up and down. Big hit right there. If anything, just for the confidence of the Flyers, that's Smith's first bucket of the night. Typically on the year, averaging right around 7.7 points a game. Air ball on the other end at the horn. 49-20 is what we're looking at.
Are you unsure about your flooring and window covering projects? Look no further than the experts at Brent's Interiors. Brent's Interiors has been inspiring the people of St. George and surrounding areas with our beautiful showroom full of flooring and window coverings. Our incredible design team can help educate you on all the newest design, styles, and color options. Brent's Interiors, just another reason friends send friends to Brent's Interiors, a Flooring America dealer. Visit Brent'sInteriorsFlooringAmerica.com.
Zimmerman and Coach Cundy breaking it all down. 49-20. Winner of this game will play the winner of Snow Canyon and Green Canyon, which is coming up right after this. Ball bounces around inside, ends up into the hands of Holmes, who fights to put it back up, but before she can do so, jump ball.
And that actually ricochets off the side of the head of Grace Polson.
Yeah, that took a hard bounce before it ended up in the hands of Holmes.
Talk about keeping your eye on the ball.
100%. Third quarter scoring. Emily Skinner only scored 2 points in the third quarter. Why, you ask? Well, they really didn't need her to do much else. Smith, left-hand dribble, tries to get inside. Riverhawk defense is swarming. Back out to Davey. Davey working off a screen. Gives it back up top. Got away with the travel. Nope, didn't get away with the travel. Travel up top as it ended up in the hands of Ari Katardi.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Coach Jenks puts in Skinner again today.
Yeah,
Give her a rest.
I think we're done.
Yeah, let her rest up for the next game. Green Canyon, Snow Canyon, guard play is going to be a lot better from either one of those two teams, whoever comes out of that next game we've got.
And that has potential to be one of our best games of the day.
For sure.
Boys bracket had some great ones as a three is fired up and off the right side, controlled by Reese Lorenzen. But I mean, Cedar and Dixie was a solid game. Dixie mounting that comeback. Crimson Cliffs trying to mount their comeback and falling just short against Skyview was great. But I really think this Green Canyon, Snow Canyon game coming up in the women's bracket has great potential between these two squads.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good one.
Polson inside, forces one up, won't go. All alone for the rebound is number 15, Brooke Barrett. 2 points on the night, getting some heavy minutes here in the second half. Swinging around up top, Holmes giving it out to Zollinger. Zollinger bounce pass, corner, ends up in the hands of Dell. Dell will take the three, knocks it down for her first bucket of the night. And I mean, who can't score? You saw why 10 different scorers in their last game against Bear River ended up on the board. It's just anybody has potential to knock one down or to get to the rim.
The ball movement from Ridgeline is extremely good, and when they do that and continue to make the extra pass and find the kid that's open, you know, kids will knock down shots when they're uncontested.
Smith had that ball out in front of her, almost lost it, went up and drew contact. Smith will head to the free throw line. And Jake, you brought up a really good point here when you were looking at both rosters when it came to Haley Smith or Hallie Smith.
Haley. Yes. Rustin, there's two of them. There's one on Ridgeline, Hallee Smith, And then there's one on Dixie, H-A-L-I Smith. I guess that's how you know you're in Utah.
That is the analysis that we came here for tonight. Nice work, Jake. 52-20, 5 minutes, 57 seconds left as Smith's first free throw clings off the back. She'll get one more opportunity here. Riverhawks hold opponents to 35 points a game. Dixie well below that average right now. Smith's second free throw is good. Able to get that one to fall. And for Smith, she is a 41% free throw shooter on the year. Zollinger now has it, trying to get that Riverhawk offense into action. Ends up in the corner to number 2, who's been in the game for a little while, Mikkel Perry. They continue to work it around. Zollinger now has it on the opposite side. Looked inside to the post to Holmes, won't get it to go. And Dixie, after forcing a turnover, able to give it to Famuina outside to Bundy. Bundy, decent look. That one off the side of the rim. Offensive rebound by Famuina, and went back up. Maybe fading a little bit, but good pursuit as Ridgeline now pushes the other way. Layup attempt, no good, off the hands of Barrett. And now the 3 off the offensive rebound is short. Barrett with another offensive rebound, and Ridgeline lives to fight another possession. 5 minutes, 2 seconds, timeout. Ridgeline, Coach Jenks with a commanding lead, is going to send her girls over to the sideline. We'll go ahead and take it with them. It is going to be a 30-second timeout, and we'll go right alongside.
Voting Adams Wealth Advisors the gold winner for Best Financial Planner in the Best of Northern Utah competition. Understanding your family, jobs, and goals is how Adams Wealth Advisors will continue to earn your trust.
This is Craig Adams. At Adams Wealth Advisors, we are here to help you receive peace of mind whether you've done a lot of planning or a little planning. Count on our team at Adams Wealth Advisors for honesty, professionalism, and integrity.
Visit Adams Wealth.
52-21 is the score with 5:00 remaining. Ridgeline will empty the bench. Couple newcomers out there. McKady Jenks now running the point. Wonder if there's any relation there. I would imagine so. Ball ends up baseline. Dixie forcing a turnover. Famuina right in the middle of it. And now bringing it up the floor will be Bundy. Bundy against Zollinger. Gives it back to Smith. Smith against Jenks. Famuina inside. Gives it back to Gledhill. Gledhill, nice spin, left hand. Good attack, couldn't get it to go, but will send herself to the free throw line for an opportunity to score her first points of the ball game.
I think there's something to be said, Rustin, about how you finish even in blowouts. I think that really shows your team pride. Dixie's a young team. They're going to be back here in the Burns next year in the 4A state playoff. They're not going anywhere, so this is great experience for the squad, and I love how they're finishing this game.
Oh, man, you talk about Ridgeline being a young team. You're spot on. The Lady Flyers themselves, look down the roster, senior Ari Katardi, as well as Grace Polson. That's it. They're going to be running back a lot of players, and they have potential to be solid. So young, and I think in reality, the win against Pineview for this Lady Flyers team in the first round, I feel that was big. That if they don't win here tonight, which they won't. Sorry, I don't want to play spoiler, but I think that was a great step in the right direction.
For sure, and just like Zimmer was saying right there, clearly Dixie was outmatched tonight by the powerhouse Ridgeline. But you can tell that Coach Barrett has them going in the right way because of how hard they're playing in these minutes, like you say, in a game that's a blowout. Getting some good experience minutes here and continuing to battle and fight. Heads are up, not putting those heads down and just giving up.
Yeah, plenty of reason to hold your head high for the Lady Flyers, and plenty of reason to be excited if you're a Ridgeline fan. Here's the steal by Barrett. Barrett's going to blow past Crane. Has Holmes, wasn't able to get it in time as Williams streaks through and knocks that ball out of bounds. It'll stay with the Riverhawks and Wallace on the floor for Ridgeline next to Zollinger, Jenks, and Holmes.
Great hustle right there by the Flyers, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Down 30, but they're still working hard, running back to, get deny a little fast break opportunity for the Riverhawks.
Wallace throws it inside baseline to Jenks, who immediately right-hand bullets it back outside the perimeter. Jenks coming off a screen will get the ball back. Zollinger sets a screen for Jenks. Jenks hesitates. Nothing really there. Good defense up top. Bundy. You said it, good hands, leads Williams the other way. Williams gets caught in a pickle, left her feet. You never want to do that. Had to throw the ball back out, and thankfully ends up in the hands of Bundy. Famuina on the drive, had that ball roll off. Crane able to pick it up. Crane, bounce pass, corner. Bundy back inside. Famuina up and blocked. Wallace with the swat and trying to push it forward. Bundy got her hands on it. Ball batted around, and now we'll have a foul on Bundy as she reached in.
I mean, that's definitely a foul. You got one hand on the ball there. I guess as the Ridgeline Riverhawk kind of twisted, that's where the foul occurred.
Absolutely, and right now for Ridgeline, they're getting a look at some of these players, and how about number 42 and Wallace with that block? Famuina is not an easy player to let alone get good position on, but to jump up and swat here at this level of ball. So come off the bench, that's a play that she can go back on and look.
Yeah, for sure. She kept a great base defensively and was able to extend, and timing was right there. Good block. Good back cut.
And good pass from Wallace. The back cut was there. The finish was not from Barrett. As the clock continues to tick, now under 3 minutes, thanks to BitSense, Fry Team, Beckstrom, Brent's Interiors, Tonnequin, all the guys who get us rocking and rolling for you. And Stephen Wade.
Rustin, this is really good, offensive creation. I love the dribble drives. Sure, the Riverhawks aren't playing this tight on the perimeter defensively, but I wonder where these drives were at in the first half.
And now Famuina goes up strong. Won't get it to go, but like we said in the halftime show, worst case scenario, where do you end up? Free throw line.
Yep. Good strong post move from Blala that time.
And Smith has scored, if I'm not mistaken, the only point of the fourth quarter for the Lady Flyers so far. That is no longer the case as the first free throw is up and down. Number 2 coming up. Famuina from the stripe. She's gotten there a good chunk of times. 53 of 88, 60%, 2 of 2 right there. Right hand dribble, Jenks back to the left, back to the right, lets Holmes go down. Got away with a small carry there. Wallace now has it on the perimeter, facing down Gledhill. Wallace picks it up, swings it over to Holmes, who thought about maybe taking on Famuina, decides not to, and Wallace, a strong drive, and in her limited minutes, having a ball game. On the other end, Gledhill answers, finishes with the left hand in solid fashion for her first points of the night.
Good to see a little back and forth here late. I like the momentum picked up from both squads.
Wallace tried to take it with the left hand, lost the basketball, ends up in the hands of Gledhill. And as Gledhill tries to push the pace, Jenks got a hand on it. Ridgeline now controls. Off the tip ball, Zollinger has it inside to Wallace. Wallace thought about maybe throwing it at the post, instead tried to swing it out to the other corner. It's intercepted by Crane. Crane right hand dribble and will slow things up with 1:39. 54-25 is the score. Famuina inside, stops on a dime, swings it back out to Gledhill. Over to Davey up top. Davey to Crane, who sweeps and drives, trying to fight off a double team. Gets it out to Davey. 3. That one almost wedged itself. Instead, rolls off helplessly to Zollinger. And she'll now control it with the right hand. Over to Wallace. Nearly caught, not looking, able to get her head turned around in time. And Ridgeline will probably be pretty content. Just hang on. You look over at the locker room, you can see the Green Canyon Lady Wolves gearing up for their contest against the Lady Warriors of Snow Canyon. Gledhill tried to intercept a pass to Wallace. Wallace banging down inside, takes it straight at the body of Famuina for a strong attack, and she will shoot free throws.
Little scoop move right there. Nice agility from the lady.
Absolutely. Came into the game, got a big block, got a bucket inside, now is sitting in the stripe.
Yeah, she drove hard to the basket, Russ, and that's just another element. The 6'1" freshman, I mean, this team is just loaded with young talent.
And looking at Wallace, she is a 6'1" center. They have her listed, graduating in the year of 2025. We're in 2022, for those of you trying to do the math.
Yeah, man, I might have kids by then. Who knows?
Well, you might, Jake. Got to find a girlfriend first.
I sure do.
Thanks for joining us here tonight, Rustin Burnside, Jacob Zimmerman, and Coach Cundy. It is 56-25. Wallace got both the free throws to drop. She now has 4 points in tonight's game, 55.3. We'll see if the Flyers can end their season on a strong note. Williams out on the floor. A couple new substitutions out there. Very young team in the Dixie Lady Flyers, playing a very young team in the Ridgeline Lady Riverhawks. Ball out to the corner, bobbled around for just a split second. It's Avery Anderson on the floor. Coming off an Anderson screen, getting it back. Anderson now swings to Williams. Williams right-hand dribble, back inside, high post, ball batted around, and Barrett controls. Is bumped, no call. 24.2, 23.7 is what the clock says. Jenks comes off a wall screen, left-hand dribble back to right. Wallace pump fakes a three, gets the defender to drive by, got inside the paint before swinging it back out. And now controlling is Zollinger, over to Barrett. We will not see another shot put up from the Riverhawks tonight. 56 points is what they end up with. 56-25 is the final. Jacob Zimmerman running down to talk to Coach Jenks. And real quick, as we wait for that, initial thoughts here, Coach. 56-25.
You know, it's the first opportunity I've had to watch the Ridgeline Riverhawks play live, and I'm very, very impressed. Young team, deep team, and Skinner is the real deal.
Absolutely. Skinner was great all night long. Well, when I say all night long, for 3 quarters. 2.5 quarters, let's go with that. Didn't need much more at that point as they all celebrate at midcourt. Well, all slap hands. Dixie not so much celebrating at the moment, but a bright future for them to look forward to as Jacob Zimmerman's gearing up for a post-game interview with Coach Jenks. 56-25 is the final. Emily Skinner finished the ball game with 23 points. Brown had 6. We have Jacob now down on the floor. Coach Jenks still shouting some instruction to her team. A coach's job is never done. Let's go down to Jacob Zimmerman now.
Once again, post-game, Coach, first off, you got a dominant win, but what do you think of the Flyers' effort there in the second half?
They're coached well. I thought they came out ready to fight. I thought they made some adjustments at halftime to make it a little more difficult on us, and I thought, the girls responded, but that coach should be proud of her team too. They worked hard.
Anything you can see going forward to improve the team for next game?
We just take it one game at a time, but one of the things we focus on is defense, and we hope to bring good, solid defense again next game.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck on going forward.
Thank you.
That's Coach Jenks of the Ridgeline Riverhawks. Back to you.
Thanks, Jacob. He's doing a great job all night long with those interviews. We got one more game coming up, but before we get to Green Canyon, Snow Canyon, we want to hand out some awards. Appliance Wholesalers Plus Playmaker Play of the Game, Ernie's 2 Sinclair Player of the Game, all coming up in your Johnson Pediatrics postgame show here on the broadcast, brought to you by Stephen Wade. 2-minute break. We'll be back as we get ready for our last game of the night and put a cap on Dixie and Ridgeline.
We know it takes an entire community to make Southern Utah thrive. You will see us on the fields, on the courts, at festivals, and in the schools, and everywhere in between. From Southern Utah's Auto Mall, we help you create memories that bolster joy in our community. It's the reason why we've got it made in Southern Utah and why you've got it made at Stephen Wade.
Voting Adams Wealth Advisors the gold winner for Best Financial Planner in the Best of Northern Utah competition. Understanding your family, jobs, and goals is how Adams Wealth Advisors will continue to earn your trust.
This is Craig Adams. At Adams Wealth Advisors, we are here to help you receive peace of mind whether you've done a lot of planning or a little planning. Count on our team at Adams Wealth Advisors for honesty, professionalism, and integrity.
Visit adamswealthadvisors.com or call 752-1702 to schedule a time with an advisor today. Please see adamswealthadvisors.com for more information on these recent awards.
It's the Johnson Pediatrics post-game show. We got some awards to give out. 56-25 is the final. The scoreboard has been reset because we got one more game to go in the quarterfinals. The number 4 Snow Canyon Lady Warriors taking on the number 5 Green Canyon Lady Wolves, and what'll be a great one. But we're not to that point yet, fellas. Jacob Zimmerman, Coach Cundy, alongside myself, Rustin Burnside. Thanks for tuning in tonight and following all the action. We're going to be bringing it to you the rest of the night. Tomorrow, Wednesday, this is the place to be if you love hoops, especially hoops that has so many talented players like we do here in the Utah 4A classification. And guys, let's just start with our Wilkinson statistics, okay? Because this will make everything else that much easier. Starting for Dixie on the losing end, Hallie Smith ended up with 4 points, Lorenzen with 2, Davey had 2, 12 off the hands of Lala Fatamuina, who was great tonight for the Flyers, 12 points, 3 points for Williams, 2 for Gledhill. Got it done for Dixie. And then as we get ready for our player of the game, let's do Ridgeline. I think you know where I'm going with this, but Wallace had 4, Dell had a 3-pointer knocked down, Barrett with 2, Wise had 5, Smith, Hallie Smith for Ridgeline had 2, Elisa Livingston with 11, Macy Brown had 6, and then Emily Skinner, 23 points, and that segues us, and she only played for 2.5 quarters, maybe a little less than that, and that segues us into our Ernie's to Sinclair player of the game. Who we got tonight, guys?
Jake, what do you got?
This is going to be a shocker here, boys, but I got Emily Skinner.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that. I believe that. Very deserving, not only the 23 points, you can look at that and say, 23 points in that amount of time, that's awesome. That's fantastic, but it wasn't just the scoring tonight, was it, guys?
And that was the thing that impressed me the most about her. You knew she could score.
Yeah.
You knew that she was their best player on the team, but she was rebounding, blocking shots, making steals. Just a complete game from Skinner tonight.
For me, the most important or the most impressive thing that shows up from her that actually doesn't show up at all in the box score is just her IQ. I mean, there was a couple plays where I could literally see her guessing and making the right guess of where exactly the Flyers were going to drive the basketball. And, you know, that was just like watching chess versus checkers. That's the best analogy I can put out there. She just knew exactly what the Flyers were going to do, whether that's game plan, whether that's just experience over the years, even as a freshman. Holy cow. Skinner is the real deal. She has it in the box score, off the box score. The eye test and the analytics both give her the thumbs up.
We're seeing some solid looks at our Down East highlights brought to you by the production crew. Appreciate all that they do. And one thing for certain, if we had to pick a player of the game for Dixie, you'd probably go with Fatamuina, who was solid with the 12 points. And really, you know, you have to give credit because 12 points being the main defensive focus for the best defensive team in 4A, and you still put up 12, that's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, for sure. And that's 12 out of 21.
Yeah, 12 out of 21.
Wow.
Absolutely, which is a valid point. And guys, that takes us right now to our Appliance Wholesalers Plus Playmaker Play of the Game, AWP, down here in St. George across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart. There was one moment in particular you guys were discussing in the break. Take me through that.
Rustin, there were plenty of Skinner steals here that led to layups, but this one kind of just stood above the rest. We were shocked when this happened. Well, maybe not really shocked, but blown away. The Skinner steal at the end of the first half, she catches the ball. Pretty much all 9 other players out on the court are in front of her from when she catches the ball. She needs to go the full length. She catches it, maybe takes like 4 dribbles, and is already at the basket. She flew by all the other 9 players. I don't know if they were jogging or if she's really just that fast and blew by them at full speed with the basketball, but that had to be the play of the game. Rustin, Emily Skinner got it done in both ways, but that steal right there had to have been the most impressive play of the game.
Skinner, fantastic. The Riverhawks, fantastic. And they showed us, just like Desert Hills did, why they are a force to be reckoned with when we hit Wednesday. But for now, that's going to do it for that game. Put a bow on Dixie and Ridgeline. Riverhawks win it big. 56-25 is the final. The winner of this game, Snow Canyon, Green Canyon, gets the treat of seeing Ridgeline next. We're going to take a break, be back probably with around 8 minutes to go before tip of Snow Canyon, Green Canyon. Don't go anywhere. More Utah 4A quarterfinal action coming at you. Last game of the night.